Okay, so now moving on to the next example. You can see once again we have two equations. So just like the last example, we're going to start by graphing each equation. So to graph y equals 2x plus 1, we start at 1 and go up to and over 1 until we get a line that looks something like this. And then the same idea for the next line. This time we would start at -4 and go up to and over 1 once again, so that we get two lines that look like this. So now you can see that these two lines are not intersecting, instead they are parallel. So since they are parallel, and we know that the answer to a system of equations is wherever the two lines intersect, and we know parallel lines will not intersect, then that tells us that when we have two parallel lines, that there is no solution. Okay, so then moving on to the third example. Once again, we're going to graph the lines and then see what the solution is. So y equals -4x plus 6. We start here. And then since it's a positive 6, we start at 6. And then the slope is -4 or -4 over 1. So we could go down 4 and to the right 1 so that we get a line that looks something like this. And then when we go to graph the second line, you notice that this equation looks a little strange because here we have a 2 in front of the y. So when that happens, then we cannot graph the line yet. Before we do that, we have to start by solving the equation to get y by itself. So just like when we're solving any equation, the goal is to get the variable by itself. When we're solving an equation like this, what we want to do is just get the y by itself. So that means that we are going to go ahead and draw the wall and the floor. And then since this means 2 times y, then the opposite is to divide by 2. Now, this is a little different than the equations that we've solved before because now we have two terms on this side. So when you divide, you have to divide everything by that number. So that means that we're going to divide the -8 by 2, and we're also going to divide the 12 by 2. So that now over here on the left side, the 2's will cancel, so that now we have y equals, and then you divide. -8 divided by 2 is -4, so we write -4x, and then 12 divided by 2 is 6, so then it's plus 6. And then we could graph that. We would obviously start at 6 and go down 4 to the right 1, but hopefully what you notice is that this is the exact same thing that we had up here, y equals -4x plus 6. So we could graph it, it would just end up being the exact same line again. So when that happens, that means that we have the exact same lines. It would just end up being right on top of that pink line. And then that means that this has infinitely many solutions.